Hello, my friends, and welcome. I'm Alexandria Nicole, and I am super happy to be here with you today for Thriving Thursdays. Today, we have an amazing woman. Her name is Dara Lee Simmons, and she is the owner of Dara Lee LLC, and she has an amazing program called Ditch the Diet that we are going to talk all about. So, this is the perfect time of year to have this conversation, too, isn't it, Dara? Because we are getting towards the season of cultural eating.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Thank
Right.
you so much, Alexandria, for having me on today.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to hear about your journey and what inspired you to get started. So let's start there. So, what inspired you to get started on your entrepreneurial journey in the weight loss realm? How did that come about?
Okay, the way that this came about was I retired a little over a year ago and really wanted to lose weight myself. And I knew that I had tried many diets, lots of different supplements, lots of different, avenues to try. And I wanted to really lose it just sincerely without using external, additives. So I
Mhm.
started on this weight loss journey myself earlier this year, and I found some success, lost 40 pounds, and knew that I wanted to bring this to other people and share what I was learning with other women.
Oh, that's so good. Now we all could use 40 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm not going to speak that on all of us because some of us are happy with and can't afford to lose 40. But listen,
that's true.
as for me, I can afford to lose 40. And me and Darren, we were talking a little bit about the mindset and how the dedication to your weight loss journey it really takes you through a mental process, right? Because before, I'm on a weight loss journey too, and I can just think 3 months back when I would get the cinnamon, I would eat the cake, I would eat
Mhm.
all of the carbohydrates without any consideration for actually how I felt afterwards or how it was affecting my weight. And it wasn't until I was actually shooting a course and we were going over the editing, and I was like, oh God, I don't look how I thought I looked in that shirt. There's extra stomach there that I don't care for.
I know the feeling, girl. I know the feeling.
Yes. So I love that you claimed your weight loss journey. You
Yeah.
retired from your previous field and you became dedicated to being healthier. And now you're helping other women do the same thing with 40 pounds down yourself. What is your target goal? How much did you ultimately want to lose, or has it
Yeah.
changed over time? What is it?
I have another 20 pounds to go that I want to, yeah. So
And
I
don't
want
you
to,
feel fantastic?
yeah, I feel great. It was, what was really fun? I had a whole two big bags of clothes that I was able to, just get rid of and put into the clothing bin and that's going to go and help children with education actually was the bin I chose. And I was really excited to be able to do that. That was felt good because I knew I was never going back there. Like I've always in the past, I've lost and gained,
Yeah.
kind of kept those big pants just in case. And I
Yeah.
always went back to them. But this time I said no because I really figured it out.
You're committed to the journey. You're committed to it. Were you a lot like me in the essence of when you started to become accountable about the things you were eating? You started to recognize personality traits that were attached to food. I'll give you an example. Like for me, once I started to kind of document how I was eating and I was more intentional, I realized that I was an emotional eater.
Oh,
Where at first I didn't realize it. I was stressed out and I would just eat whatever would make me feel better in the moment, but I didn't connect those dots of, oh, I'm stressed out, so I resort to food. So did you end up identifying and kind of rewiring your mind about certain personal traits, and then you end up helping the women that you help identify those same traits?
yes, absolutely. And it's funny you should bring up emotional eating because and this is something that I have recently learned, but when our body is emotionally stressed, when we're under stress, we release a lot of cortisol. That just naturally increases our appetite. So it's really a biological response to stress. And when our bodies respond that way, obviously then we eat like a big, usually dense kind of food, right? We're
Right.
looking for that comfort food.
Comfort food. Yeah.
And what happens is then the body needs to send tons of energy into your stomach to help digest it. And that's when you start to calm and feel better. So,
Oh, well, I
yeah,
don't feel as bad now to
see?
know that it's biological.
That's right. It's biological. And when people realize that, and it's like, wow, it's not just me being weak and I can't control it. It's
Right.
biological. So what I help women do is find other ways, that you can just be active. Maybe, clean out that junk drawer. Just
Yeah.
do something that gets you physically involved, dance a little bit, put on a YouTube channel that you can, do a 10-minute workout, just something to help to find another way to release that stress and release the cortisol.
Right. Another way to essentially have another outlet, a
Absolutely.
healthier outlet to
Right.
dealing with that. That's so good. And I have started to actually do that method too with the replacement of it,
Yep.
where I go to walk now if
Yep.
I'm feeling stressed. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum. Where it used to be just going to get the Cinnabon, now I'm going for a walk now instead, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's perfect. Yes.
So when you got into the line of helping women with their health, did you anticipate that it would be like a mindset aspect to it as well?
Yeah, I knew that mindset was important because,
Yeah.
we really need to adjust how we think of ourselves. I used to think of myself as just a fat girl that loved junk food and there was nothing I could do about it, right? Like
Yeah.
I just felt like that's who I am. I just, so I really encourage women to use affirmations. We use journaling. We use, just I myself rely on meditation, and just really come into tune and mindful eating, like
Mm.
really paying attention to what you're eating, trying to stop all the don't eat in front of the TV, in front of the computer. We all do it, right? It's the lunchtime, we're just like kind of shoveling something in while we're trying to put some emails out or whatever, for us
Right.
working women. But it's really important to be mindful and really enjoy what you're eating, see how you feel, really kind of recognize when you feel satisfied, because we often eat just because it tastes so good and then we're overstuffed. But if
Right.
you're really mindful and, like you said, like tune into your body, you can stop when you feel satisfied. And that's what you want to do. And it takes practice. Let's face it, we've been eating, probably not the best way for years. So it does take practice.
Right. So give us some more tips on mindful eating, ways that you can go about controlling the way that you're consuming food and what that actually looks like in like tangible practices. What would you recommend?
Okay. I definitely recommend that you turn off all electronic, like don't eat in front of the TV. Just sit down at the table with your meal. I have an activity that I give women to do. It's called the raisin activity. You take one raisin and you look at it as if you're here from another planet. You've never seen a raisin before, okay? And you smell it, you feel it, you kind of even squeak it in your ear, use all of your senses, and then
Yeah.
put it in your mouth and let it sit on your tongue for a minute and then chew it. And this activity should take you 5 to 7 minutes to eat one raisin. And it just helps you to really like tune in, like I said, all of the senses, and really just pay attention to how it tastes, how it feels, and all of that. And it's amazing because I had a woman who's part of my group, and she was hungry. It was in the morning, and she stopped at one of those fast food places and grabbed a breakfast sandwich. And she said, "You know what? I decided I was going to do the mindful raisin activity with this." And she said, I took a bite. She said, it tasted horrible because she's been eating just more whole foods, and I really encourage people to eat whole foods, not highly processed food. So by really paying attention and tuning in to how it really tasted, she realized that this was not what she really thought she was craving at the moment.
Absolutely. She was just hungry.
She was
And if
hungry.
she had gotten into her car, drove off, turned the music on, she's thinking about all the emails and all the things she has to do, and just mindlessly ate the sandwich, she would have had consumed the sandwich
Yeah.
in its entirety, not really paying attention to the fact that her body is telling her this is not for us. But how often do we do that as people, where we're just caught up in the cycle of life, and we're just getting something in our face because we're hungry and we're on to the next thing?
Right.
I really love the intentionality behind the raisin aspect. And, I do something similar, not relative to weight loss, but kind of just being intentional in the space that you're in, where I'll take my daughters outside and I'll have them take their shoes off and lay in the grass, or just put their feet in the grass, just for them to slow down for a minute and feel what it feels like to be barefoot outside and be one with nature.
Right.
Just that intentionality behind being a human being, instead of just this perpetual movement forward with no, regard for what we're eating, how we're living, what we're consuming. So I love that, right? That's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, it works really well.
Yeah, that's so good. So what would you say, since you started your practice, has been some challenges that you had to overcome in order to have a successful business where you are teaching all of these women about their weight loss journeys?
I think my biggest challenge is getting out to more people. Like, I want to reach more people that are struggling with the same kind of things, and really help people understand, like, our overweight and obesity levels here in the United States is crazy huge.
Yeah.
And, even if someone, doesn't want to necessarily lose a ton of weight, like, I'm not of the mindset that you've got to follow those, those charts where this is your perfect weight. But even if I can help women understand, like, the power of food, like, really the artificial foods that are out there, and full of so many chemicals, so many additives, and things that we really don't need. I love helping people learn how to cook with whole foods, with real foods, just real fruits, vegetables, lean meats, and really, when you get those highly processed foods out of your diet and off of your palate, our taste buds regrow in about 10 to 14 days. So
Wow.
So it only takes a couple of weeks, and then you're not as likely to be, sucked into that, like, wanting those highly processed foods. So
wow, that's fantastic. I had no idea that our taste buds. So does that essentially mean that if you restructure the way that you're eating, that you won't, after a couple of weeks, you won't miss the foods that you were delving in indulging in prior to that?
Yes.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's especially true with sugar. Like, if you, like, if someone is really of the mindset that they want to eat sugar every day, just cut that out, and you won't be craving those sugars or those high fat foods. Not that you're never going to have it. I mean, I still, once in a while, I'll still order French fries when I'm out. I mean, we're human. We want to have those treats, but it's not like every time I go out, I think I want high fat, high sugar foods, so it becomes, and as long as we're talking about the taste buds, I love to throw in the artificial sweeteners. We think that we're doing ourselves a favor by eating artificial sweeteners as opposed to real sugar. But really, that kind of backfires for us, because the body is expecting to get a blast of calories with that sugar, that sweet taste, right? You're still craving those sweet tastes, but with the low calorie, no calorie artificial sweeteners, your body is kind of like, okay, now where's those extra calories? And
Right.
you could actually end up craving more because that's what your body's anticipating. And if you read the ingredients, I love to tell people to read the ingredients on those bottles. It's nothing, if you're drinking those diet sodas, there's nothing in there but, colors, artificial flavors, chemicals. That's what you're eating.
Wow. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
I hate that we have to stop and take a little bit of a break. You guys don't go anywhere. We will be right back to continue this conversation. I love it because I'm learning a lot.
Great.
So give us 29 seconds and we'll be right back.
Super.
Oh, thank you guys. And we are back with Dara Lee Simmons, and we are talking all things power of food and how they affect your body. And I am learning so much right now. This is amazing. And it's especially good for me because I'm also on a weight loss journey. And this is fantastic information. I have never been one for the artificial sugars, but I can certainly tell you that I didn't realize that the taste buds regenerated. I didn't know that was a thing, but now that you're talking about it, I recognize that I have experienced that because I was, a heavy consumer of sweets, and I have a sweet tooth, and I love the experience of trying different desserts. But like I said, I was overindulging because it was also synonymous with stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I realize now, like my typical go-tos, like 3 months ago, I'll taste it now, and I'm like, my God, this is sweet.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it has completely reconstructed, and I didn't realize that was the foundational piece of it, right? I just felt like, oh, I'm changing, or we oftentimes say that, oh, my tastes are changing.
Yeah.
Not realizing they actually physically have.
They do. Yep.
That's fantastic. So when you started your company and you started to come alongside women, what was your initial mission? What is your values for your company?
My mission is really to help as many women as I can to be as healthy as they age. Like, my target is really 35 and up. I see my big why for myself personally is I want to be as independent as I can, well into my 90s. Like, that's my goal. I'm a golfer. I'm active. I want to continue to be active. And I have seen so many people just struggle sometimes to get from their car to the grocery store. And it just breaks my heart. Like,
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be like this. And, I have a woman that I've been working with, and she was doing laps in the pool because walking is challenging, but she was able to do those laps in the pool. She was able to do some chair exercises, and she's just recognizing that the fried foods that she thought she just loves so much, she's not having them anymore. Like, that's just not part of her, regular diet. And if I can help people make those little changes and see that, yes, with these little changes, a year from now, you're going to see a big difference. And that's really what my passion is, what my goal is to help people understand that a lot of it's not their fault. It's, some of it's biological, some of it is, the food industry has people called craveability experts. Those are scientists, and this is really true. Scientists who make that food taste so yummy and delicious, and that we want more, and so that's why I really, encourage and teach women, like, get off of that highly processed stuff, and you won't be as tempted to eat as much if you're eating more whole foods, whole fresh vegetables, fruit. They fill you up more, you have more energy, all of that.
I love that. I love what you said about you encourage the women that you work with to stay the course, and you will appreciate the journey so much more a year into the future, because I think our day and age, we are instant gratification people. So
Hmm.
if you aren't losing that weight that you want to, I've been guilty of it myself. But in the past, I actually had a journey where I have a lung disease. Okay, it's called pulmonary sarcoidosis. So I had to do a stint of prednisone. It's steroids, and it causes cravings and weight gain. On top of it is a side effect.
Hmm.
You get what they call moon face. Your face is really heavy.
Okay.
So after I was done with my prednisone, I decided obviously I need to get this weight off, right? And I was like, why have I been working out for 37 minutes and haven't lost 62 pounds? Like,
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
you want to see the results, because in real time you're experiencing, you're feeling tired, you're sweating, you're doing all the things, and you want to see the results instantly. So I love that you give your women actual tangible timelines that really sets them up for success, even better, because they know they will have to stay disciplined, they'll have to stay determined. And on the flip side, they have to keep it up, right? After you get the weight off, if you go right back to your old behavior, guess what? That
Yeah.
weight is going to come right back on too, right?
Exactly, exactly. And that's why typical diets don't work. Like they're so restrictive and you're not going to eat like that for life. So that's why I teach women, like, yes, if you want to have an ice cream, have an ice cream. Can you have ice cream every single day? No, not if you truly want to lose weight. But
Right.
maybe you make Friday nights your ice cream night, and that's the night that you indulge in your ice cream, and that's fine. Like we have to be able to eat those kind of foods as well, but we need to really, like we were talking about the mindset, like get in touch with our bodies and really understand better how the food is impacting us.
Yes, I think I'm not sure if it's just a cultural thing in the U.S. or the South or the North, wherever it lies. But I was raised in the South, and it was considered with our socioeconomical class that if you didn't clean your plate, then that was
Mhm.
disrespectful. Now, on
Yeah.
the flip side, I've read that higher income families, upper echelon, they leave a little portion of food on their plate as a sign that they're disciplined, as a sign that we have enough. I don't have to eat to the last drop. So it's really just culture, right? When we
Yes.
were on the
Yes.
side, we ate everything.
Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh yes.
And that kind of sticks with us too, right? It becomes ingrained in who we are as people, because even if you put a little bit too much on your plate, you still, and you've been full for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but you're still eating because you're
Right.
wired to clean your plate. Do you find that you have to a lot of times help women overcome some of those things that
Oh,
are embedded in them on that side of the mindset too?
yeah, absolutely. We need to really look at how we were raised and erase those mindsets. One thing I teach people to do is if you're going out to dinner, because when you go out to dinner, those portions are huge,
Right.
right? They really are. So ask for your to-go dish when you get your meal. Put
Yep.
half of it away, because typically half of the meal is plenty. And then you've got dinner for tomorrow night, like that's a really big tip, and a lot of the women I work with use that now. They just automatically ask for their to go
D-
plate and yes, take it with them.
Dara, you must have been talking to me in my dreams, because I do the same thing right now. I'm like, bring me this and bring me a to go plate as well, because I don't want to sit here and overindulge and then eat beyond the part of being full, right? Beyond that point, and then just feeling sick. And we all know what is on the other end of eating beyond your capability. You feel terrible. You've gone
Yes.
from having a wonderful dining experience to, oh, I gotta unbutton my pants and I'm gonna
Yes.
get to a bathroom soon, right? So
Right.
it's just,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the indigestion. I mean, I used to have terrible like acid reflux. I thought there's something medically wrong with me. No, I was just eating way too much and it was trying to come back out, right? Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Gone are the days
Yeah.
when I just have Tums on the nightstand because I know it's gonna happen. Because I listen to myself now, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that you're helping other women do the same thing. And I've loved that you have lost 40 pounds. You've got 20 more pounds to go. You look beautiful,
Thank
and
you.
I'm so happy that you're healthy because I do. I'm a people watcher. I like to go places and view people, and I really love the smiles and the laughter and dads holding their children, and moms enjoying their husbands. I love all of it. But on the flip side, while I'm people watching, I see the people who haven't taken care of their bodies over the years, where everything is kind of breaking down. There was a point in time, maybe about 10 years ago, where I was living somewhere I really didn't want to be. And I visited a beach with my husband. And at that point in time, it was just our one daughter. So maybe it was 13 years ago. And it was this older couple. And they were, kind of shuffling along the beach. And he leans over to his wife and he said, "Why did we wait until we were this old, until we started to travel?" I don't know who those people were. I can't even remember their faces. I just remember how they looked, their energy. They were low energy. They were obviously maybe in their late 60s, 70s, but they were on that point of people who hadn't really taken care of their bodies.
Yeah.
So it was very physically tolling for them to get around. I remember hearing that and thinking that I don't want that to be me. I don't want to be filled with regrets from not living the life to my fullest. So I'm daring. I take chances. I fail a lot, but I learn a lot from those failures.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make changes and be disciplined to those changes because of what I heard that older couple say. And we have to take care of our bodies.
Yeah. Yes. It's the only place we have to live is right here in our bodies, right? We've got to take care of ours.
That's so good. That's so good. So yes, I appreciate what you're doing. So what would you say to women that maybe have done the diet, or they have, attempted to lose the weight, and they really can't overcome the obstacles that are standing in their way to reach their goal? What would you say to those women?
I would say jump on a call with me because really I can give you all kinds of tips and tricks, but everybody is a little bit different. We all have our own individual struggles, and I really love to just dive in and say, what is it that you're really struggling with? And let's see what we can do. And it's about making little tiny changes and adding to those changes. And really individualizing it exactly for each and every one.
Right. And it's about that tailored experience too, because everybody has different relationships with food, don't they? Right. So it does take having a call with you, working those things out, meeting their needs, seeing what they need to overcome in order to reach their goal. And you come alongside them throughout the entire duration of the process too. Yes. Is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if anybody wants to jump on a call, they just need to go to www.ditchsession.com. That's DITCHSESSION.com. And we'll just book a Zoom. We'll figure it out. And I'm here just to help everybody and anybody that wants to get on a healthier path and really kind of figure out, why are they struggling? Why are they stuck where they're stuck?
That's so good. Thank you so much for coming on today and for teaching me some things too. I didn't know the piece about your taste buds regenerating. That's fantastic. I didn't know that we were actually biologically wired to get hungrier when we are stressed, and how the cortisone plays a part in all of that. That is all fantastic information. I feel so empowered continuing with my weight loss journey, and I appreciate you, Dara, spending time with us today. I appreciate you. So this is the portion. This 30 minutes went by super fast. Did you have fun?
Oh my gosh, Alexandria, this was great. I can't believe it was really 30 minutes. Yeah, it was super, and I so appreciate you letting me come on and share. just a few tips with your audience.
Thank you so much. And I love you, Darren. I appreciate what you're doing. And thank you to everyone watching. Now, it's time for your prayer disclaimer, because we close out each podcast with prayer to honor God for our abundance, because we are a podcast that prays. So let's go ahead and click that music off so we can honor God with our silence. And we are going to pray. Now, you ready, Darren? I'm going to pray.
I'm ready. Yes, ready.
Dear God, I humbly come before you and I thank you for this day. I thank you for the opportunity to speak with so many amazing people, Lord God, and the opportunity to share their stories and uplift our listeners, uplift everyone who these stories come in contact with, and uplift our guests and their business and their impacts and their callings, Lord God. I thank you for the opportunity to usher these messages, and I steward them with intentionality and love in my heart for each one of the people that we come in contact with. I thank you for this calling, and I pray these things according to the character and identity of Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I love you, Dara.
Thank you.
I love
I
you.
love you too.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And for a free consultation, make sure you reach out to Miss Dara Lee Simmons. All you have to do is reach out to her at ditchsession.com. All right. And until next week, I will see you later. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks a lot.